All right, let's get right into it. We're looking at Nuvama's latest quarterly performance, and it's a really fascinating story. It's not just about numbers on a page. It's about how a company can face a major headwind and come out even stronger. It's a story of resilience. And you don't have to take my word for it. The CEO, Ashish Kehar, laid it out right from the top. He's acknowledging the tough spots, market volatility, losing a big client, but the real message here is that the company's diversified model is specifically designed to handle this kind of pressure. And here it is, laid out plain and simple. This is the core drama of the quarter. You've got these big challenges on one side, but on the other, you have the company's built-in defense mechanism. It's different business units picking up the slack and new clients coming on board. It's a classic tale of strength and diversity. So here's how we're going to break it all down. We'll start with the big picture of this resilient quarter, then we'll dive into the main business segments: wealth, asset management, and services. After that, we'll look at the tech and people making it happen, and finally, what's coming up next for Nuvama. First up, let's talk about the quarter as a whole. This was a real stress test for Nuvama's entire strategy, and as you're about to see, the results really do prove that their diversified model is working. I mean, this chart kind of says it all, doesn't it? Even with that major client loss, their first half revenue didn't just stay afloat, it grew by 10% year over year. That's proof positive that other parts of the business weren't just filling the gap, they were actively growing. So you're probably asking, where did that growth actually come from? Well, a huge piece of it starts right here, with their core business, wealth management. This is the engine room of the company, and boy did it have a great quarter. Just look at this number, 74%. That's the revenue growth they saw in their managed products and investment solutions. And this isn't just some lucky break. It's the result of a very deliberate shift toward products that generate more stable, high-quality revenue. But how do you actually pull off growth like that? It's not just about having the right products on the shelf. It's about having the right people, the right talent, managing those crucial client relationships. And Nuvama has a very specific playbook for this. See, they're not just hiring more relationship managers. They're hiring better ones. They're specifically poaching experienced talent from the banking world. And the CEO put it perfectly. One of these new high-productivity hires is worth almost two of the old ones. It's a clear strategy of quality over quantity. Okay, next up is asset management. Now, if wealth management is the powerful engine of today, you can think of asset management as what Nuvama is building for a much bigger tomorrow. This is where they're planting the seeds for future growth. And they're already building at a pretty serious scale. Just one of their funds, the Commercial Real Estate Fund, has already pulled in over 2,300 crores. So this isn't just an idea on a whiteboard. It's a real thriving business. But wait, they're not even close to finished. The goal is to get that fund up to 4,000 crores. That's nearly double what they have now, and it shows you just how much conviction they have in this part of the business. So what's the game plan here? Well, this table breaks it down nicely. They're not trying to compete in the super crowded world of regular mutual funds for retail investors. Instead, they're using their new license to go after a different market, sophisticated investment funds, or SIFs. These are for high net worth clients who want more creative, flexible strategies you just can't find anywhere else. They found their niche. All right, let's talk about the unsung hero of the whole Nuvama platform, the Services and Markets division. This might not be the most glamorous part of the business, but it's the rock-solid backbone that supports everything else. A huge part of this is something called asset services. The easiest way to think about it is like the essential plumbing for the investment world. Nuvama provides all the critical back-end stuff, like clearing, custody, and accounting, that other big asset managers need to even operate. And remember that theme of resilience? Well, it shines through brightly right here. This was the division that took the hit from losing that big client we mentioned earlier, but the recovery has been way faster than anyone thought, which just goes to show how essential and robust this backbone really is. So, we've looked at the different business units, but what's the secret sauce that makes them all work so well together? Well, it boils down to two things: a really smart unified tech platform and a laser-focused people strategy. At the heart of it all is their one platform idea. They've built this single digital ecosystem where everything is connected for clients, their managers, and partners. And you can see it's working. Just look at their App Store ratings. People clearly appreciate this seamless experience. And on the people side, well, the strategy couldn't be clearer. Almost 3 out of every 4 new hires are for front-end, client-facing jobs. They are pouring resources into the people who are actually out there driving growth, in building relationships. It's a massive investment in their growth engine. All right, so let's wrap things up by looking ahead. What does the next chapter hold for Nuvama? They've already telegraphed some pretty clear strategic moves that they're making to build on all this momentum. There are three really big things to keep an eye on. First, a stock split, which will make their shares easier to buy for more investors. Second, that super important license to launch their new sophisticated funds. And third, they're expanding to Dubai to tap into that huge and wealthy Indian diaspora market. You know, when you piece it all together, the resilient, diversified model, the smart hiring, the integrated tech, and these big forward-looking plans, you get a picture of a company that has a very, very clear vision of where it wants to go. And that really brings us to the big final question. We all know India's wealth is projected to absolutely explode over the next 5 years. So the thing to watch is this. How will these integrated tech-first platforms like Nuvama not only ride that wave, but actually redefine what investing looks like for a whole new generation? That's the real story.